Guys, before we begin the Monday Night Raw review tonight, I want to send a very special shout out to one of my VIP goons, Drew, at Orlando Buckeye on Twitter. I want to send some prayers, and I want you guys to do the same thing tonight. His father is actually in the hospital as we speak, as we record. He has a very, very bad case of pneumonia, and he's been in a coma for the last 2 nights. And I want to send my prayers and well wishes to Drew, and I hope everything comes out the way it should be. So I want you guys to just kind of collectively come together and just get your prayers together and well wishes down together in the comments for Drew and his dad. So I hope everything is okay with your brother, and hopefully I will talk to you soon. I don't want to yell tonight. In fact, I don't think it would be a very good thing for me to yell tonight. Normally I would be going off on what we've seen with Monday Night Raw tonight, but I will be flying to Chicago first thing in the morning, and I need to get ready for what will be an absolutely hectic week for myself, as I will be attending StarCast. And I will be on Podcast Row, and I will be going to All In. So I look forward to seeing and meeting a bunch of you guys out in Chicago during the week. The Roman Reigns initiative, the Roman Reigns agenda is now complete. It's complete. It's over. There is absolutely nothing else for us to cry about. It's all over. You know, I didn't put it on a t-shirt. I did not make a meme of it. I don't joke about it. I don't make light of the situation. I don't complain for no reason. It is an agenda. It is an initiative. And when I say they do it for Roman, they fucking do it for Roman, man. It's quite sad. It's quite sad how they build this entire show around the well-being of one man. WWE has taken Dean Ambrose and already ruined him and made him Roman Reigns' lackey. They took Seth Rollins, becoming a 2-time Intercontinental Champion this year, just won the title again at SummerSlam from Dolph Ziggler, made him Roman Reigns' lackey. They got the Shield back together to protect Roman Reigns. WWE built a literal shield around Roman Reigns so that the negative reactions that you have been hearing are heard not so much because of Rollins and Ambrose being behind Roman Reigns. This is why you come here. This is why people appreciate my opinion. You're not going to hear this from any other content creator on this platform. That is the God's honest truth. That is why they got the Shield back together. That is why Roman Reigns has been gifted the Universal Championship. And that's why we're seeing what we're seeing now. Now it goes a step beyond that. It goes well beyond anything that we thought WWE was going to do. And just like with the case of Becky Lynch on SmackDown Live, WWE is writing the narrative that they want you to understand. They're writing the narrative that they want to write. They're not listening to the pulse of the audience. They're not listening to the heartbeat of the WWE universe. They're not listening to any fan feedback whatsoever. This is just the same thing on Raw as it is on SmackDown with Becky Lynch. WWE is giving us a story that we ultimately do not want in the end. We don't want it. And holy shit, man, has WWE done the inevitable? I didn't think they were going to do it. I didn't think that it would be a good business move to do it. I figured let it play out. This is one of those situations where if you let it play out, it would probably benefit the storyline. But like I said, WWE is giving you the narrative that they want to give you while they give you this. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about anybody. They do it for Roman. Braun Strowman and all the destruction that he caused. Braun Strowman and all the months and months and months of pushing this guy as the next big babyface in your company. Get these hands and Monster Among Men and all the positive reactions that we were getting for Braun Strowman. It was a complete waste of everyone's time. Now you could add Braun Strowman to the laundry list of names that they have sacrificed for one Roman Reigns. Braun Strowman, undoubtedly, I still don't think Becky Lynch is a heel. Until I start hearing the reaction that Braun Strowman got tonight, Becky Lynch is not a heel. But I'm not even going to argue about what we heard at the end of Monday Night Raw. Braun Strowman is undoubtedly, unquestionably 100% heel. And I have to ask, why? Why? Simple. Because they do it for Roman. They do it for Roman. This company is pathetic. This company is fucking sad. This company puts all their eggs in one basket for Roman Reigns, and it gets them nowhere. It's like they run around in a fucking circle with their heads cut off because Roman Reigns, no matter who they push, is the next intimidating, dominating heel on this roster. They will always go back and boo Roman Reigns. I don't understand this shit. You're making Braun Strowman into a heel. Meanwhile, Roman Reigns himself has heel-like tendencies, but yet is portrayed as a babyface. Well, I just don't understand this storyline now. You went from me actually being somewhat interested in putting them inside Hell in a Cell with the dynamic of Braun Strowman getting the positive reaction and Roman getting the heel reaction. Now it's both men getting a heel reaction and WWE forcing a heel turn on Braun Strowman so that you, by default, have to cheer Roman Reigns. They have brainwashed the masses. WWE has manipulated the fucking audience. And I don't understand how people see this as being a good thing. Months ago, we were talking about Braun Strowman being the one to take down Brock Lesnar. Months ago, we were talking about Seth Rollins taking down Brock Lesnar. Roman Reigns took down everybody because all they do is constantly feed Roman Reigns name after name after name after name, sacrificing themselves to the almighty God, Roman Reigns, and nothing seems to work out. Their efforts and all these months that they've put into these other characters, built up, fed to Roman, wasted. And here we sit, going into Hell in a Cell, with absolutely no excitement surrounding this match now, after what happened on Monday Night Raw tonight. I don't get it. I honestly don't get it. And here's the biggest logic hole that nobody else on my timeline seemed to have figured out. WWE conveniently had Braun Strowman at the beginning of this show cash in honorably as a babyface. Honorably cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase, which guarantees him a title shot, and he opted to take the title shot a la RVD in 2006 at ECW's One Night Stand against John Cena at the Hammerstein Ballroom in downtown Manhattan in front of 3,000 rabid, bloodthirsty fans, winning the WWE Championship on his home turf, honorably as a babyface. That was the way that they were going with Braun Strowman. They were going to put these guys inside Hell in a Cell. I was actually intrigued by everything that they were doing. I was intrigued by Strowman cashing in the briefcase. I was intrigued by the possibility of him cashing in honorably and then having some sort of fuck finish, which would probably get us Roman retaining the title and then Braun Strowman doing what he needs to do to even the numbers game, and that is get Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper on his side. It's not what I would have opted to do, but it definitely would have been intriguing inside the Hell in a Cell structure. So Braun Strowman as a babyface cashed in. And then WWE, they said, fuck that. As if it never fucking happened. They have Braun Strowman on the main event for tonight's show, side with Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. And he beat up Roman Reigns. He beat up Dean Ambrose. He beat up Seth Rollins. Himself, Drew McIntyre, and Dolph Ziggler laid waste to the Shield. So he gave up the briefcase earlier in the night. Now, if that was going to be your direction for the evening, if that was going to be Braun Strowman's big master plan at the end of the night, how stupid do you think that makes him look by giving up the briefcase just mere 2 hours earlier? You know, if he held on to that briefcase for another 2 hours, 2.5 hours, he'd be walking out of Monday Night Raw as the Universal Champion tonight. Do you know how stupid that makes Braun Strowman look after he just decimated the Shield all by himself with Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler? Left Roman Reigns laid to waste? He's got no briefcase. He cashed it in already. No, but you want to be honorable now, but then WWE wants to turn him into a heel. How fucking stupid does that make this entire fucking thing look? No, but I'm the fucking idiot who just likes to be negative. It's right in front of your eyes. Open them. Open them. This was a terrible, terrible, terrible fucking outcome for Monday Night Raw. And the funny thing is, I don't even know why Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler need to be standing next to Braun Strowman. How does that benefit Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler, who were already over on their own? I pitched the idea of AOP either being aligned with Roman or either being aligned with Strowman. I mentioned this on Off the Script. Wouldn't that situation, wouldn't that ending benefit AOP more than fucking Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler? Couldn't you see? Couldn't you envision? How do you think that would look if Akam and Razor of the Authors of Pain were standing there in a tag team match and all of a sudden Braun Strowman comes out and aligns himself with the AOP? Like, I don't understand that. I really don't get the logic here in Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler. I don't understand anything with this storyline. It's sickening how WWE has pushed Roman Reigns and this agenda so far that they sacrificed literally everything that they've built on this show. And another thing I want to make mention that no one is going to bring awareness to. The WWE has way too many heels on SmackDown and way too many heels on Monday Night Raw. The Shield, by all accounts right now, is a babyface faction, with their main guy being very heel-like, but portrayed as a superhero. Braun Strowman now a heel. Undoubtedly a heel. Drew McIntyre. Dolph Ziggler. You got Elias. You got Kevin Owens. Who on this roster is a main event babyface other than the Shield? Nobody. So potentially, what WWE has done here is they turned Braun Strowman when he didn't need to turn to simply aid in getting Roman positive reactions. Do you know what that's going to do? It's going to create a trickle-down effect. Now, what we might not be getting, which we desperately need, is a Dean Ambrose heel turn. The fact that Braun Strowman has turned heel either A, completely nixes Dean Ambrose heel turn, or WWE has put it on the back burner way in the back. And we won't be visiting that anytime soon. So with Braun Strowman turning heel, the likelihood of Dean Ambrose turning on Roman or Seth or both is now, especially right now, out of the question. So with that, WWE has fucked up literally every possible aspect here. And now going into Hell in a Cell, we got Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler aiding Braun Strowman. This storyline is WWE absolutely took the worst path for this storyline coming out of SummerSlam, and it's completely ruined it to a point where now 2 weeks after SummerSlam, I don't give a single fuck. But everybody wants to cheer Roman Reigns. Everybody wants to cheer Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns still, even though he is the Universal Champion, he just comes off as not championship material when I look at him. When he speaks, he doesn't sound like World Championship material. Roman Reigns looks like a option C, option D. He looks like a fucking 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 10th place option for a world champion on Monday Night Raw. I could think of 5 other guys ahead of Roman Reigns that I would rather see as the Universal Champion and who would come off more than a world champion than Roman Reigns. This is downright fucking pathetic. And I really don't know what else I could say about Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman going into Hell in a Cell. They fucked it up. They absolutely fucked it up. The other big story here is Kevin Owens. Now, I mentioned Kevin Owens, and I mentioned how with the Rollins match tonight, you know, I'm not going to state the obvious, because why would I do that? Why would I want to talk about everything that we've seen tonight, meanwhile everybody is going to talk about that same exact thing? I want to differentiate myself from other content creators, other podcasts that are just going to give you the fucking obvious that we've seen tonight. Was it a great match? Of course it was a great match. Was it a great crowd? Was it a hot crowd? Of course it was Of course it was a hot crowd. But Kevin Owens, coming out of WrestleMania, seemingly, you want to go all the way back to WrestleMania, the guy coming out of WrestleMania, drafted to Monday Night Raw, has been absolutely fucking worthless. Kevin Owens tonight quit, and I use that term very loosely, quit Monday Night Raw. Kevin Owens fought Seth Rollins tonight in an open challenge because WWE is another thing about the Shield. They're making them, or now calling them, the workhorses of WWE. Dean Ambrose is a workhorse. Seth Rollins is a workhorse. Roman Reigns is a workhorse. They think that by stating that the Shield are the workhorses of WWE, that's going to be a positive spin and another reason why you should cheer the Shield as a unit. Or cheer Roman Reigns. So it was Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens for the Intercontinental Championship Open Challenge. Great match. Great match. But Kevin Owens lost because he did a springboard moonsault off the top rope, missed. He was nailed with a curb stomp, and then he was pinned. 1, 2, 3. WWE then shows Kevin Owens sitting in the middle of the ring with a chair, and he listens to the crowd chanting, KO. KO. And then all of a sudden, he just blurts out the words, I quit. Walks off. And we haven't heard from Kevin Owens since that moment tonight on Monday Night Raw. I mentioned on Twitter before Kevin Owens legitimately quit per storyline. I mentioned that would it have been so wrong to give Kevin Owens the Intercontinental Championship in that moment on this night? The answer, more than likely, is probably no. It would not have been wrong to give him the Intercontinental Championship. It was a hot crowd. It was a great moment. The match actually called for a hot shot finish like that, which I would have been perfectly okay with. Because going into that match, Kevin Owens has been treated like an afterthought. He's been treated like an embarrassment. He's been treated like a glorified jobber. Going into that match, I was hoping that it wasn't Kevin Owens. Actually, I was hoping it was Bobby Roode and that we would get Bobby Roode to turn heel on Seth Rollins, because I heard an interview today about Bobby Roode stating that he thinks he is money as a heel. He's saying it, we're all saying it, and WWE refuses to see it. Now you want to know why this company, as a television product, ratings-wise, every single week, quality of their shows is god-awful. They don't listen to the core audience. I was hoping it wasn't Kevin Owens, because when it was announced as Kevin Owens, the first thing that rang in my mind was, well, I don't see them taking the Intercontinental Championship off of Seth Rollins after 1 week. Why would they do that? And then the other side of my brain was asking the question, well, if Kevin Owens is here, he can't lose because he just can't. After everything that's been done to him, he just can't. He needs a win. So what do you do with him here? The match ends by DQ. The match ends by countout. The match ends in some fuck finish where we get something that continues this feud going into Hell in a Cell. But WWE didn't do that. WWE did not do that. They opted to give us Rollins and Owens in a great Intercontinental Championship match with the outcome that everybody assumed would be the outcome. Rollins retains clean and retains the Intercontinental Championship. So what does that mean for Kevin Owens? What does that mean for Kevin Owens? Kevin Owens probably is the highest paid jobber on Monday Night Raw. But I will tell you this, and WWE somehow surprises me every now and then, with Kevin Owens uttering the two words, "I quit," on Monday Night Raw tonight, he instantly became the biggest storyline on Monday Night Raw. Fuck a Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns. Fuck the Universal Championship. Fuck a Roman Reigns. This became the most intriguing storyline on Monday Night Raw. He mentioned Sami Zayn. He mentioned being embarrassed. He mentioned being frustrated. I just hope that we start to see the Kevin Owens that we seen when he headbutted Vince McMahon on SmackDown Live, busting Vince McMahon's head wide open. I want to see the prized fighter, Kevin Owens. I want to see the NXT Kevin Owens that was fucking powerbombing everybody, apron on apron on apron on apron. I want to see the Kevin Owens that stepped on John Cena's WWE title while he was the NXT champion. That's the Kevin Owens I want to see. I want to see the Kevin Owens that doesn't give a fuck about anybody. And I'm making a bold prediction right here. I'm making a bold fucking prediction right here, right now. I mentioned it on Twitter, and if you guys are following me there, you know what I said. Ronda Rousey has been teased and teased and teased, reported about being the next Paul Heyman client. How Paul Heyman has been kept in WWE while Brock Lesnar goes and does UFC, gets ready for Daniel Cormier in January, February, whenever that match is taking place for the UFC Heavyweight Championship. WWE wanted to keep Paul Heyman on television. Ronda Rousey's the big name being linked with Paul Heyman as the next client, the Paul Heyman girl. Maybe Roman Reigns could have been a Paul Heyman guy. That idea, that notion went right out the fucking window. Braun Strowman was the other one. Maybe Braun Strowman could be a Paul Heyman guy. That notion went right out the fucking window. I don't see that happening. I mentioned AOP. I mentioned the Authors of Pain. I still think that would be a brilliant idea. Why not put your hand in the basket of the tag team division? We could certainly use a couple of monsters dominating that division under the guidance, under the tutelage, under the brilliance of Paul Heyman. And being that they don't have Paul Ellering, I think adding another Paul would be quite the idea. But that's not even where I'm going. I honestly think Paul Heyman is going to come back and align himself with Kevin Owens. And I think Kevin Owens is going to be the guy that we see ascend to the top of WWE. That is my bold prediction for the end of 2018. As the summer comes to a close, as we get to the fall, I think we see Kevin Owens paired with Paul Heyman, and Kevin Owens is the new client for Paul Heyman. It works. Now, you're probably saying, well, JD, Kevin Owens is a great talker. He's a great promo. He doesn't need Paul Heyman. Yeah, but CM Punk didn't need Paul Heyman either. The only reason why Punk and Heyman were together was because they had history. Paul Heyman stood up for CM Punk. In some ways, CM Punk's job was saved by Paul Heyman in WWE when everybody else was shitting on him and just casting a huge shadow of doubt over CM Punk when he was in ECW. Paul Heyman took him under advisement. Paul Heyman took him under his wing, and he became a Paul Heyman guy. They have a history that spans over 10 years. They had a friendship that spanned over 10 years. Kevin Owens doesn't have any history with Paul Heyman. But what Kevin Owens and Paul Heyman have is that hunger to be great. Mixing Paul Heyman and Kevin Owens together, yes, it may not be needed, but my God, could you come up with a better fucking dynamic between two fucking guys who could speak their ass off and make you interested in what they have to offer? That's my bold prediction. And like I said, with the two words, I quit, Kevin Owens went from absolutely nothing on Monday Night Raw to probably the most intriguing storyline on this entire 3-hour shit show. I wanted to mention the Elias Trish Stratus segment on Monday Night Raw. And outside of this and whatever else I've already talked about, there really wasn't anything on Monday Night Raw that I should be talking about because it was that unimportant of a show. Trish Stratus is back as Toronto. I was getting texts from a few different people saying, watch out for Elias' segment. Watch out for Elias' segment. It's going to be a surprise. It's going to be unlike anything we've seen so far. Came out to be revealed that Trish Stratus was in the building. Trish Stratus was kept a secret. She showed up in front of the Toronto crowd for Monday Night Raw. And my God, does she look fucking fantastic. Holy shit. She looks great. Trish Stratus came out and went back and forth with Elias, which was very entertaining. And WWE, you know, I want to lead into the Trish, you know, coming out during the Elias segment. And then she was stopped by Alexa Bliss and Alicia Fox were there. Ronda Rousey came out. It was a whole big thing. It was a whole big thing. You know, WWE with the Trish Stratus, Elias, and then Alexa Bliss interrupting. And then their constant talk about The Undertaker and Triple H and WWE getting all these legends just talking about it. Steve Austin, The Big Show, Mick Foley, Christian. The list goes on and on. Everybody talking about The Undertaker versus Triple H at the Australian Super Showdown in October. WWE is doing so much for multiple shows. And we have Hell in a Cell coming up in like 3 weeks, 2 weeks. We got Hell in a Cell. WWE's building towards Hell in a Cell. WWE's building towards the Australian Super Show. WWE's building towards WWE Evolution. That is a lot for WWE to undertake here on Monday Night Raw. This is a company that can't even book a regular 3-hour show for a regular pay-per-view in a random month. Now, WWE, you expect WWE to give you quality television on Monday nights when they're building towards not 1, not 2, but 3 pay-per-views coming up? One of those shows is going to get lost in the shuffle. And it's not going to be the 2 shows in October. WWE is merely announcing matches for Hell in a Cell, and that is all they're doing. WWE is going to go about booking rematches for Hell in a Cell because this is the least important show of the 2. They already announced Alexa Bliss versus Ronda Rousey in a rematch for the Raw Women's Championship. Daniel Bryan and The Miz are going at it, not one-on-one, but the way that they changed it up is by adding their wives to the match, making it a mixed tag team match. Samoa Joe and AJ Styles are going one-on-one at Hell in a Cell. We've seen that already. Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns. We've seen that already. I'm sure Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins are going to go one-on-one again at Hell in a Cell for the IC title. We've seen that already. I'm sure they'll put Dean Ambrose versus Drew McIntyre to get both of those guys on the show. We've seen that already, or at least a mixture of that, somewhat of that on Monday Night Raw. The tag team titles, do I even need to speak about how garbage the tag team division is on Monday Night Raw? Hell in a Cell is going to be nothing but rematches, rinse and repeat that we've already seen at SummerSlam or something that we've seen already in the past. It's a meaningless show. Hell in a Cell is a meaningless show. They're building towards 3 shows in a span of 6 weeks. Yet you expect WWE to put on a good Monday Night Raw that makes sense. My head is all over the fucking place with the amount of shit that's going on. It's too much. I don't mind the content that's going to be coming out of it. But for me to fucking grasp everything and just follow everything that's going on, I feel like I'm being pulled at all ends. We got Evolution, we got the Super Show, we got Raw, we got this, we got that, we got Hell in a Cell. How many things you got to follow here? Little bit too much. But this is WWE. They feel like the more they give you, the better. I've always been a guy who loves quality over quantity. You know, my channel would not be as successful as it was if I released 7 videos a fucking day. The fact that I sit here with well thought out commentary and podcasts and giving you guys something to think about when the video is over, that's all I want. That's been my direction for 4 or 5 years now. If I was to do 3 different fucking videos today, this video wouldn't be as special. Because I would have undoubtedly talked about something that I mentioned here earlier in the day. It's not really a good business model. This is why there's burnout with the audience. This is why people are leaving the product to go watch something a little bit more, I guess, of a higher quality. The more you put on, the quality of the shows diminish. No, but I'm wrong. I'm the fucking idiot. Other than that, there was really nothing else on Monday Night Raw. Those were literally the big things from this show. Now, I want to go over from the very top here, Monday Night Raw. Okay? It's in Toronto. We all know that. It's been rumored. Ticket Drew's been saying it. You guys got to start listening to Ticket Drew, man. WrestleVotes has been saying it. Sean Ross Sapp said it. SummerSlam's in Toronto. 2019 SummerSlam is in Toronto. Looks like I might be having to get a passport now. I don't know. I might actually sit out SummerSlam. I'm not really sure yet. Not really sure at this juncture what I'm going to be doing for SummerSlam. Because it's one of those things where it's very difficult for me. And when I sit in an arena at a live show, all I'm thinking about is, oh, fuck, am I going to go home? Am I going to be able to get a review up? If I go to these shows, it's very, very, very difficult to get the post-show review out of the pay-per-view. And if I do it the next day, it's going to be diminished in views. My SummerSlam review, the fact that I went to the show and I had a great time, and I'm very appreciative of everybody's generosity and Drew helping us out and just showing us a good time. You know, my SummerSlam review probably could have did 50% more views than it did, if I uploaded it the day of instead of the next day. That whole 12-hour window was very crucial, and I didn't capitalize on that, which made me lose money in the end. So, going to these shows, and it's going to happen with WrestleMania too, but I'm going to be home for WrestleMania. I'm not physically going to WrestleMania, so I don't have to worry about that. I would not sit there. I would not give a fuck about sitting there at all. So, I'm not going to have the same thing happen during WrestleMania weekend, but for SummerSlam, I might actually sit out for Toronto next year. It's going to be one of those last-minute decisions, and if I actually get up off my ass and stop being lazy and get a passport, we'll see what happens. But there was another big story in the crowd. Apparently, the Toronto PD, the Toronto Police Department, was issued a warning that there could be an active shooter in the building. Now, if you guys have been paying attention to the news, there was a Jacksonville shooting at a video game parlor at a Madden 2019 tournament going on with a bunch of esports guys. And some lunatic killed two very high-profile Madden content creators or streamers in Jacksonville. And it was just a nightmare scene. And some idiot goes on social media, some idiot goes on Twitter and says that he's going to shoot himself in the arena in which Monday Night Raw was tonight. And that he snuck a firearm past security. And that he wished everybody's well wishes and thank you for the memories, WWE. And he threatened to shoot himself. So clearly WWE caught wind of this. And there was police roaming the building for the majority of the show. And his Twitter profile actually got deactivated. The police took this guy into custody. It was just a mess all over social media. People were tweeting me about it. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. And this is what's going to happen. This is the sick world that we live in. That there was a tragedy in Jacksonville, Florida, and people are going to say stupid shit on social media to try and elicit a reaction. Meanwhile, you're only doing harm to yourself, and now this guy is most certainly behind bars tonight. So, please, it's not something to make light of. Don't say that shit. We live in a day and age where if you say anything out of line like that, especially with what's gone on lately, you are going to be taken down like that. So, that was a scary situation. That was thwarted tonight, and thank Christ we didn't need another tragedy here on Monday Night Raw. Now, the show opened up with Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. Roman Reigns is in the ring, and he, WWE, it's funny how they gotta throw these little zingers out there for you. Michael Cole was so quick with Roman Reigns defended the Universal Championship on all live events this weekend. That hasn't been done in 500 days. Blow me. Does he want a fucking medal? That's what he's supposed to do. That's what Brock Lesnar should have done, but you watered down Brock Lesnar's gimmick. You allowed him to sit home. Whose fault is that? Blame Vince McMahon. You signed the fucking bum to a 4-match deal per year. That's exactly what you're getting. So WWE needed to throw that out there. Roman Reigns defended the Universal Championship at all live events this past weekend. Congratulations. Sure, Vince McMahon would give you a nice hand job after a job well done. So Roman Reigns comes out looking for Braun Strowman. They went back and forth on social media. Roman mentioned it's 8:05. I'm waiting. Where are you, big man? So then Braun Strowman comes out and issues a challenge for Hell in a Cell.
It's at least 8:05 now. And I didn't win this title to just stand in the ring and hold it. I'm here to defend it. So if that meat shack don't come out here ASAP, we're gonna turn this thing into the Shield Workhorse Open Challenge.
See, there's that workhorse thing again.
And if anybody wants to step up, they can come get it.
You shall receive.
And people want to see Strowman. Look at the reaction he got.
Workhorse. You sure could have fooled me when you had to have your boys come out here and save you when I came calling last week.
The Shield is a brotherhood of workhorses. Nobody tells us what to do, not even me. Those boys, they made a choice because they understand the shoes I'm standing in.
Oh, really? Really now? Really now? I took notes on this motherfucker. I want to see any other people mention this specific sequence here with Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. So you're telling me that Seth Rollins, let's start with Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins won the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam. Before that, had the best year of his life on Monday Night Raw. This guy was at the top of his career with Monday Night Rollins. Okay? So this guy, you mean to tell me he willingly put on the Shield garb and decided to become a Roman Reigns lackey when he himself knowingly is the number one guy on this show, but he himself taking steps down because everybody has to be sacrificed to Roman Reigns. He willingly did that. That's what you're trying to tell me with this fucking bullshit. Do you believe that for one fucking second? Because I don't. This is why the Roman Reigns agenda is complete fucking garbage. Dean Ambrose. You mean to tell me Dean Ambrose coming back after 9 fucking months, people loving him, missing him, wanting to see him, white hot, coming back after 9 months. You mean to tell me Dean Ambrose opted to put on the Shield garb and with that white hot reaction he got, take a couple of steps down the ladder to be Roman Reigns' lackey, right? So Rollins and Ambrose opted to do this to help Roman because they know how it feels to be in his shoes, and they didn't want him to suffer the same fate. So what Roman is trying to tell me, what WWE is trying to tell you, that these two guys willingly took fucking a shot in the dark here, ruined both of their momentums to help a guy who's been given opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after fucking-tunity. Bullshit. If that's the fucking narrative you're trying to tell me, fuck you, WWE. That is garbage. That is garbage. And I sit here and I don't understand how people can become so fucking brainwashed.
They know what it's like to be at the top of the mountain. You have no clue. All you do is run around here and say, "Get these hands." Well, the fact is, the only thing you lift with those hands are objects, cars, ambulances, stages. These hands, my hands, have lifted every single WWE championship there is to offer.
Nah, just throw it in everybody's face, and you're still not over.
That's why I am the guy. That's why I run this
and
yard.
you're
And if you
still
ever wanna be on
not
my level, son,
over.
you better learn to step up, act like a man, cash that contract, and let's have our championship match right here in Toronto.
I'm not cashing in tonight.
They threw that line in there because they want, it was, to me, it was like a test.
Because you and I and everyone inside this arena know that if I did, your little boys would come down here and try and save you again. So I'm gonna make you a deal. I won't cash this contract in until September 16th. All you gotta do is show up to the one place where your brothers can't interfere with me taking your Universal Championship. Because you and I, we're gonna go to war in a place we've never done it before. I'm gonna cash my contract in, and I'll see you in Hell in a Cell.
You're finally starting to sound like a monster.
Yeah, now if only Roman didn't sound like so much of a cocksucker, then we'd be on to something. That was the opening of Monday Night Raw. After that, we had Dolph Ziggler come out, and Drew McIntyre joined him, as always. The record scratch hits, Ziggler comes out. They run Strowman and Reigns down, saying that they need a new challenge, and they want both Strowman and Reigns tonight. So after that, we figured that match was pretty much made. So Reigns tells them to bring it down to the ring, but Baron Corbin comes down. He approves Braun Strowman's cash-in for Hell in a Cell, and he says that he's going to do something. He's going to make a match that Kurt Angle would have never dreamed of making. It's going to turn Raw upside down. It's going to be a new change for Monday Night Raw, or whatever the fuck he said. So he comes out, and he makes the tag team match that we all knew was going to be a tag team match because Dolph Ziggler was there. And my God, did Dolph Ziggler look uninterested. He looked fucking completely unenthusiastic. He reminded me of myself when I watched Monday Night Raw. And I figured he was looking like that and sounding like that because he knew he was ultimately going to be fed to Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. But we had this match made, and I don't believe WWE actually scripted the lines for Baron Corbin in there. I'm going to do something that Kurt Angle would have never dreamed of. A tag team match? A tag team match. Not only a tag team match where the two guys are partnering up and they're in the main event of your next major pay-per-view. Didn't we see that going into Extreme Rules with Bobby Lashley, Trashley, and Roman Reigns? Or was that a fucking mirage? Or was I dreaming? Oh, that's right. It happened on Impact Wrestling and not Monday Night Raw. That's what happened. Tag team match is something that we've never seen done before. This show is absolutely one of the worst things on television on a weekly basis. Seriously. They make everybody just look fucking stupid. I would never watch this show with anyone. Just for the sake of sheer embarrassment. So, Baron Corbin makes all these matches. Then we get Baron Corbin in the ring. And he makes another match with Finn Balor. Again, I ask myself why. And who is opting to put Baron Corbin in 20-minute fucking matches every week? Who makes that decision? Now, I understand you want him to get better, but, I don't see any progress being done here. I don't want Monday Night Raw to open up with Baron Corbin and Finn Balor 20-minute matches. Finn Balor is a fucking shell of his former self. At this point, I pray he goes back to New Japan and joins the Bullet Club. And Baron Corbin, listen, the guy's got all the potential in the world, but he's just not there. He's just not there yet. He's doing a fine job as Constable. I see him opening up a little bit more. When you compare Baron Corbin to his days in NXT, he's a lot better here. Just charisma-wise and personality-wise. But still, he just doesn't do anything for me. And Smiley Finn, forget about it, Smiley Finn. The only thing that we gave a shit about with this feud, it happened at SummerSlam for 90 seconds. The Demon came out of the smoke, and that was it. That's this entire feud in a nutshell. All we want is the Demon. They gave us one thing that we gave a shit about with this feud, and then all the other times it's Smiley Finn with his fucking fancy leather jacket. Hardly any excitement whatsoever. Finn Balor wins by DQ because Baron Corbin, he rolls through a coup de grace. He misses the coup de grace. Corbin grabs a steel chair, nails Balor in the stomach with it. Referee calls for disqualification. Now, being that Baron Corbin is the constable of Monday Night Raw, he takes the microphone and announces that, he forgot to say that it was a no DQ match. He restarts the match, he nails Balor with a steel chair, and then hits him with the end of days, and it goes from Balor winning by DQ to Baron Corbin winning by pinfall. I sense this is not over. So please, someone bury me in the fucking smoke in which the Demon comes out of. I wish the Demon would drag me down to the fucking smoke so I don't have to see this garbage every fucking week. Moving on here, man. WWE was hyping up that they have a triple threat or a triple header on Monday Night Raw. They got the B Team. B Team! B Team! No, no, no! B Team! B Team! They blow, blow, blow! I could be a cheerleader. Fuck! Pay me to be a fucking cheerleader for the B Team. I'd get them over because they came out to nothing but fucking library silence. I actually like that. B Team, B Team, they blow, blow, blow. Pat myself on the back for that one. Anyway, we got Baron Corbin. Why am I mentioning? Fuck Baron Corbin. B-Team versus The Revival. Natalya versus Alicia Fox with Ronda Rousey. And then Elias. A special performance by Elias. Dana Brooke and Apollo Crews are backstage talking about how she deserves a spot at WWE Evolution. She don't even deserve a spot at the fucking catering table. Talking about a spot at Evolution. They even mentioned on Monday Night Raw tonight, she hasn't wrestled a match in 9 months. That makes me a very happy individual. Anyway, Titus O'Neil walks up and informs Dana Brooke, with an E, that she has a match against Sasha Banks. So Apollo Crews is asking Titus, well, Dana hasn't wrestled in 9 months on Monday Night Raw. This was supposed to be a warm-up match. What type of warm-up match is a match with Sasha Banks? Well, hey, if I'm Titus O'Neil, I'm going to tell Mr. Apollo Crews, bro, what are you talking about? Just shut your mouth, go eat your chicken pot pie that I freshly baked in the oven. It's waiting for you at the fucking table. 3C, Your napkins are properly folded. I set out the proper silverware. And for Dana Brooke to learn, she has to learn against the best. Now, please, tell me if the chicken was tender enough in the chicken pot pie. And I put extra peas in it for you, okay? Now shut your fucking mouth. So, Sasha Banks versus Dana Brooke. If you're expecting me to say Dana Brooke got the upset win over Sasha Banks, I'm sorry to disappoint you. Sasha Banks with a bank statement for the win. And then Titus, at the end, is going back and forth with Apollo. Apollo doesn't understand why. He is pro-Dana. He is pro-Dana. I don't think anybody is pro-Dana but Apollo Crews. But, at least she has one fan. We got a Intercontinental Championship match. Seth Rollins comes out, issues an open challenge because WWE doesn't have any other plans. They go right back and revert to the open challenge because it's easy to book. A fucking idiot could book an open challenge. Kevin Owens comes out, big pop, talks about how his life has been miserable since coming to Raw. My life is miserable every Monday, watching Monday Night Raw for 3 hours and then having to take notes and then talk about this shit for an extra hour. Not getting to sleep till 2:30. Owens accepts the challenge, heads to the ring. So we got Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. This was a great match. This was a pay-per-view worthy match. There was chants of holy shit. The crowd was fucking eating every near fall up. Rollins has a buckle bomb on Owens. Owens bounces back and nails a super kick for a unbelievably close near fall. Crowd going crazy. So Owens goes to the top for a frog splash, but Rollins jumps up, nails him with a step-up enziguri. They go back and forth on the top rope. Rollins climbs up. They unload with strikes. Owens hits Rollins with a headbutt, and he crotches him on the top rope. Rollins then is on the mat, and Owens jumps up to the top rope and tries to do a fucking moonsault. He does one of them springboard moonsaults. And like I said, man, for the fucking naysayers out there, oh, Kevin Owens is fat. Kevin Owens is a fat slob, man. The guy is fucking athletic and the guy can fucking move. And if you don't think Kevin Owens is a main event guy on Monday Night Raw, you're clearly a delusional idiot. So Owens misses a beautiful moonsault attempt. He goes for the blackout curb stomp and he pins Kevin Owens and retains the Intercontinental Championship. Great fucking match. It reminded me of that first match that he had with Dolph Ziggler on Monday Night Raw many weeks ago. That went about 25 minutes in the main event. So we get Kevin Owens sitting in the chair in the middle of the ring. He's been there since he lost the match. They went to commercial. He's back there in the ring. He looks to be getting emotional, looks to be crying. His eyes are all red. And Owens says, I quit. Drops the mic, walks off, and everybody's just like, oh, what is going on, man? I think Owens gets paired with Paul Heyman. That is my prediction for Mr. Kevin Owens. The B team, first the Revival. What the fuck was I doing during this match? Was I doing dishes? Was I packing for Chicago? Was I face first on Twitter? Was I cleaning cat litter? Was I sweeping up fucking cat litter that Bailey made a mess of? The fuck was I doing? I don't know, man. Was I picking out the red M&Ms from the bag of multicolored M&Ms that I bought earlier? I don't know. Did I shave? Did I take out the trash? Did I go for a walk? Did I walk the dog? Did I take a shit? Did I clean the stove? Did I pick up cat hair from the fucking couch? Did I get my mom and dad ready to feed the fucking cats while I'm getting ready to pack for Chicago and leave for tomorrow morning? I don't know, man. What the fuck did I do during this match? Anything that I did during this match was more important than this fucking match. The B team is fucking terrible. Come on, one more time. B team, B team. No, no, no. Why are these guys tag team champions? It's a fucking comedy act. They're like the worst fucking comedian on the face of the earth. They're like, you go see this fucking bum at Dangerfields, and you sit there with a fucking $12 fucking vodka tonic or Long Island iced tea, and you're sitting there fucking not laughing at anything this guy's saying. These guys are not funny. They're not funny. I actually enjoyed them more when they were The Miz and The Miztourage. These guys are fucking garbage. I mean, the Revival even said after this match, they got on the microphone after they beat the B team with a shatter machine. The tag team division is a fucking joke. The reason why it's a joke is because you got these two fucking morons running around with the tag team titles. Then you got AOP, 1 week on, 4 weeks off. AOP, 3 weeks with Titus Catering, 2 weeks off. I don't understand how you have teams like the Revival, how you have teams like AOP on your brand, and you have no babyface teams, because the B team is just fucking terrible. I don't even consider them babyface. I mean, they came out to fucking crickets. Crickets! The sounds of crickets mating in a hot August, late summer night is more important and more just aesthetically pleasing than the B team. These guys are terrible. This division is fucking... You might as well not even have a fucking tag team division. And did you guys know that tomorrow night on SmackDown, they got a triple threat match to find out who the number one contender is for the SmackDown Live tag team titles? They got the Bar, they got the Club, and they got the fucking Colognes. Where the fuck did these guys come from? What? Puerto Rico and the timeshare business wasn't doing anything for you, apparently. What, did your hotel get shut down for a mass fucking exodus of roaches? The fuck happened? What, the pina coladas weren't up to par? The fucking Colognes. I didn't even realize they were still employed. How you gonna give a team like the Colognes a tag team title shot when they've been off television for 2 years? You know, I'm supposed to sit here and just like, oh, okay, well, let's give someone new a chance. What the fuck have they done? Have they won matches that I didn't know of? Oh my God. We need to fuse the tag team divisions together. Seriously. B team loses to the Revival in an absolutely worthless match. The Revival wins. They get a tag team title shot next week. Hopefully, we are all put out of our misery. Anyway, moving on. Elias and Trish Stratus. She got a big pop. She looks fucking fantastic. Elias mentions how Trish gave up time from changing diapers to come see him at Raw because obviously he's more important. Elias says he's kind of a big deal now. Trish Stratus says that she's a fan of some of his music, but when he starts talking about how bad her hometown of Toronto is, she hacks. Elias, if he keeps this shit up, he will be a hack. She asks him to silence his cell phone, hold his applause, and more importantly, shut his mouth. Fans chant for Trish and Elias. He continues to talk about how shitty Toronto is. Trish obviously has got to get that WWE evolution out there. And the match with Alexa Bliss. Gonna go on record and state here, I much rather pay to see Trish Stratus versus Mickie James, then Trish Stratus versus Alexa Bliss. I might be in the minority there, but I would much rather see that match at Evolution. So, Trish says it's time for Elias to pack up, take his guitar, and walk away. We see Trish in the ring, and Elias says that he doesn't date women in their 60s. Now, if Trish Stratus is 60 years old, sign me up to date a 60-year-old Trish Stratus. You know, Trish decks Elias. The music interrupts both of them, and out comes Ronda Rousey. Because that's what we wanted to see in that moment. Ronda Rousey's music. Ronda Rousey's all smiles, comes out on stage holding the Women's Championship. Natalia's music joins, and Natalya comes out on stage. They all head to the ring. They're all a little family in the ring. You got Natty, and you got Ronda, and you got Trish. Right? So then we get Alexa Bliss coming out with Alicia Fox, and she calls Trish Stratus irrelevant. She says, Natty, I forgot what she mentioned about Natty, overrated or something. She mentioned Ronda Rousey as being overrated or some shit. I forgot what she called Natty, but who the fuck cares? The most important thing I want to keep on here is that she called Trish Stratus irrelevant. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This is coming from the woman who is standing next to Alicia Fox. And she's calling Trish Stratus irrelevant. Again, I want to reiterate to you. Alexa Bliss called Trish Stratus irrelevant while standing next to Alicia Fox. I don't think anybody in WWE mentioned or realized what she was saying in that moment. So, see, it's shit like this that gets past Vince McMahon, that has all of us scratching our heads. So, they hyped their match for Evolution. Bliss says she's also getting her rematch with Rousey at Hell in a Cell. Just no bill. Just throw it in there. You know, rematch made, rematch. Hell in a Cell, like I told you, it's the least important of the 3 pay-per-views coming up. Natty wins this match with a sharpshooter. And Mickie and Bliss beat on her with cheap shots. Mickie James was here. That's why I mentioned Mickie James. And I'd much rather see Trish and Mickie. Trish and Rousey come over, and the heels retreated before Natalya got the win. Who cares? We have, I wanted to mention this. Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal is backstage with Dean Ambrose, and he's mentioning how Dean Ambrose looks angry. He looks violent. He looks just in a bad mood, right? And he's trying to do his shanty, right? So, I was loving Silent Dean. I think everybody was loving Silent Dean here. I think the intriguing Dean Ambrose character before the main event fucking failure that was Monday Night Raw. Silent Dean was the most intriguing thing about this Shield reunion. He hasn't spoken one word yet. They have him open his mouth for the first time in 2 weeks to Jinder fucking Mahal. Now, he says, I'm going to break your bones, I'm going to break your fucking jaw, I'm going to break your face. So get the fuck out of my face, is pretty much what he said. But the fact that you had Dean Ambrose speak for the first time in 2 weeks in direction of Jinder Mahal. I mean, does this company love to keep anything intriguing? That bothered the shit out of me when I heard it. Why would you waste Dean Ambrose's first words on one of the worst WWE champions in the modern era? I don't understand it. So, we get Baron Corbin backstage on the phone with Stephanie McMahon. He's talking about how Kevin Owens is quitting Monday Night Raw. She wants him to fix that situation. Baron Corbin then orders a masseuse. Bobby Lashley comes walking in. He mocks Baron Corbin. This is another match that I care not for at all. Corbin sent him to the ring, says that he's got a match booked tonight. Lashley asks, who are you going to put me in a match against? He says he's too busy to think about it. So Corbin sends Lashley to the ring, and we get the Ascension fed to Bobby Lashley. If the Ascension was any lower on the totem pole, I don't think they could go any lower than they are. They were literally fed. Complete wastes on Monday Night Raw. They are guys who just will... The light at the end of the tunnel is them and their contracts walking out of WWE. So, the Ascension fed to Bobby Trashley. Jinder Mahal versus Dean Ambrose. I don't even know why this was a fucking match on the show tonight. Dean Ambrose wins with dirty deeds. I don't see how this is benefiting anybody. This was just made for the sake of making a fucking match. I don't understand what the logic behind that match was. Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman versus Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. This one ended when Roman made the hot tag after he was beaten down all match by Ziggler and McIntyre. So he gets the tag, does Strowman, and he just stands on the fucking apron. He got the tag. He never came in off the tag. Drew McIntyre, Dolph Ziggler, confused as fuck. They continue to beat down Roman Reigns, and the referee calls for the bell. Roman Reigns wins with Braun Strowman by DQ. Now, after the bell, we get Braun Strowman grabbing Reigns, yelling in his face, telling him that he is not finished with him yet. So they're reverting back to what made Braun Strowman popular in the first place. But it did not come off as old Braun Strowman. People were booing. Because this is not what we... What the fuck? I don't know what my cat's doing. This is not what we wanted to see here on Monday Night Raw. So Rollins comes out. Ambrose comes out. They get beat to shit. Big power slam in the middle of the ring. Braun grabs Ziggler and McIntyre's arm. And they stand as a threesome in the middle of the ring as the show goes off the air. So I don't understand what they did here, as I discussed in the beginning of this video. I don't like it. I don't like it. It further pushes the agenda, and the agenda is complete. The agenda is complete. The one guy that we looked for as our savior to take the title off of Roman Reigns is now a fucking heel. And I'm going to say this again because I've been mentioning it and I hear no one else mentioning this shit. WWE needs to set themselves up for Survivor Series. The WWE Champion is going to go up against the Universal Champion. The Intercontinental Champion is going to go up against the United States Champion. And so on and so forth. WWE needs to make sure that Survivor Series has the best of both brands here. Roman Reigns is not losing the title before Survivor Series. Roman Reigns undoubtedly is going to defend, or not defend, I don't think any title is going to be on the line, but it's going to be champion versus champion. It's going to be Roman Reigns versus AJ Styles. And then we might even get the Shield versus the Club. Or a showdown of all 6 guys there. Because that's what WWE does. Rollins probably will defend against Nakamura. You know, take my money on that one. The tag team titles, you got to set up for the tag team titles. The Revival, no question, should go into Survivor Series as tag team champions versus the New Day. There you go. I like that match a lot. Women's champion, Ronda Rousey, probably against, I don't know. You ain't going to do Charlotte. Maybe we get Alexa Bliss winning the title back. I have no fucking idea. Or maybe Becky wins it before Survivor Series and we get Becky versus Ronda Rousey. I would much rather see that than Charlotte and Ronda right now. So you got that to look forward to as well. You know? So WWE needs to set themselves up for the Survivor Series. It needs to begin. You got to get your champions in place. You know? So it could make it a little bit predictable just looking at the Survivor Series and the layout of Survivor Series Raw vs. SmackDown. You can kind of see who the champions are going to be going into the Survivor Series. You got to be ready for it. You got to start setting it up. This is not some pushover show. This is a major pay-per-view with implications. You cannot have a Jinder versus Brock Lesnar situation like they did last year that they actually averted last year and went a different direction, or diverted, went into a different direction. They gave us AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar. So WWE needs to start setting up where they want their champions to be before going into Survivor Series. So with everything that happened tonight, I don't know what the fuck's going to happen. Just a little food for thought out there before I get the hell out of here. Thank you guys so much for everything. Hope you enjoyed the review. If you guys did, hit that thumbs up. Let me know what you're thinking down below. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on all notifications with that bell. If you guys want to support the show, please, patreon.com/JDFROMNY206. I got 2 hours of extra audio. A 1993 retro review of The King of the Ring. And I just reviewed for an hour the first TakeOver Brooklyn, comparing Sasha and Bayley to where they are then to now, and where NXT was then to now, man. Well worth your time. $5 or more for that on Patreon right now. Patreon.com/JDFROMNY206. Thank you guys so very much. Off the Script is uploaded as well. If you guys missed that, I talked about the whole Neville situation. That went up late last night. Go check that out. Links will be in the annotation that you see above. And I'll be flying out to Chicago tomorrow morning. So thank you guys so very much, and I hope to see you guys in Chicago for StarCast and Podcast Row. Thank you guys for everything. I'll see you in Chicago. The entire week of content is going to be coming to you from the Windy City. I'm out of here, guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for SmackDown Live from Chicago. I'll talk to you later.